Just while the kettle's boiling, something else I'd forgot, steaming up again. That cheapo shop in town sold bog brushes in a tubular steel thing. The steel thing's upstairs, but the lid, I thought, it's only cheap metal, but it gave me an idea. Although I have mentioned it before, I think. Make that bigger, probably ½ inch across. Doesn't matter which way, that way might be best. That Royal Enfield I like. In fact, Mr. Collydale, what do you think if you're watching? The front hub, it's like an open hub with all the spoke end nipples exposed, and I said with chrome, disc could cover them up. So I took a picture of this. I didn't mention it were off a bog brush. Sent it to that Royal Enfield dealer in the next town, 4 miles away. What do you think of that? You could sell them as an extra. And he ignored me, so I've sent a picture to Royal Enfield in India and said, why not make that? I'm not sure of the size, that's 100mm, but I think it might be slightly bigger. You know, the front hub might be that big on the Enfield Interceptor 650. Just to cover the spoke ends up, you know. Nice little bit of bling. If that was in her bag with Royal Enfield on, chrome disc to cover hub up like a big spacer, it'd probably be 10 or 15 quid, wouldn't it? The entire bog brush and tube and lid were £2.50. Just a thought. What were I watching? I was watching Wheeler Dealers with an old chap who wanted some custom wheel hubs making for a rare car. I forgot what it was now. Or was it Drew? I think they bought it. Drew Printshaw wanted some as well. I think it was the same chap. And he started off with a flat disc, put it on a lathe, got a thing and pressed it, and it formed a disc shape in shiny thin steel, and then you polished it up and put ridges in. Although I suppose in India there'll be 1,000 workshops making similar things for peanuts. You know, it looks a bit unfinished to me. I'll put a picture up, see what you think. Yeah, it's a nice cup of tea with carnation type milking, roller carnation milk. Right, bye for now. Yes, the motorbike show with Henry Cole. Nice, didn't it? Henry's just paid £2 for a bloody basket case. It was in someone's back garden for 26 years without a cover on it. Rusted to hell. But I didn't know Henry had a bruff. He said he had to sell a dozen of his bikes to pay for the bruff. A bit £100,000, aren't they? Can you see, or is it fuzzy? Reason I'm mentioning this is that, did you see the news yesterday? In Austria, a mountain top bike museum, all bloody wood, has burnt to the ground, and 230 valuable classic bikes have just been destroyed, along with about a dozen classic cars, including an Aston Martin DB5, I think it was. In 2003, the National Birmingham Motorbike Museum went up in bloody smoke, didn't it? Some knob was smoking a fag at back, and he chucked his fag down, and a load of empty cardboard boxes from a load of spurs that had been dumped, and they all went up in smoke. Excuse me. And it said the flames caught under the roof, and the roof had a suspended ceiling, so the roof got ablaze. And before they realised what was going on, it was too late, and they managed to wheel a few of the most valuable bikes out. But loads got destroyed, didn't they? So they're looking into this Austrian museum to find out what happened. But it's just mental, isn't it? Who's running the bloody place? That's what I keep saying. These days you have wrong staff, a bunch of bloody divs and silly sods running places. Why not have a permanent security team there with bloody fire extinguishers, and if it's electrical fault, put it out. Although you never know, maybe it was foul play. Made of bloody wood, like a giant wood cabin it was, with a cafe and an open fire. You know, them fires with a chimney on. I don't know, there's a couple of videos up about it already. Getting fed up, stuck in this lockdown. Your fish is here, Bobby. I've been playing with it. Look, fish. Oh, little baby, aren't you? Are you bored? We're all bored, aren't we? I'm afraid I'm sent to eBay for a couple of things. In fact, I'll take that with me. You can't see, can you? Blackpool in old picture postcards, going cheap on eBay, 1983. And because I'm going bog, I'll take it with me. Well, hello. Sorry for the delay. But still no motorbike stuff, although I am boiling some water to give me bike a wash. I can't remember, I thought, did I? Furloughed on the 8th. Did I clean it? I'm sure I cleaned it, but you never clean your bike enough, can you, for salt on the roads. The big freeze continues, bloody brass monkeys last night. Although the ice in the yard is melting. Yeah, so I'm going to give it a clean, just in case there's any salt lurking. Now, does it look any tidier on these shelves? I've got loads of plastic boxes, put the clothes in. The others are sort and neatly folded up. It's slightly more tidy, isn't it? Someone said, well, it's a lived-in kitchen, but I don't know what happened then. It suddenly went off and said proceed with mover recovery. Hope it's not going pear-shaped. I can always swap it. I do have another 2 cameras. I might just have dusting. Yeah, muggies. I do have some cheap chicken and them, so I think Sodom, I'm not going back to the supermarket. Baked spuds, if in doubt, get baked spuds. I've got some prawns with garlic and herb dressing. Hot chocolate, lemsip for my wheezing chest. I've been wheezing ever since I finished work. Every time I get in cold air, I start bloody wheezing like an old set of bagpipes. Profiteroles, eh? Profiteroles. I'm going to have them now. What spuds can do for later. It's only 3 o'clock. So, is it what? Don't want it red hot, do we? Oh, it's boiling. Proceed with mover recovery. There you go, don't say. It might just be fluff on the SD card, I hope. And you don't want it red hot, do you, for a motorbike? Yeah, just had a gas and lecky bill. They're after a meter reading every month now since I switched to Octopus. It said your monthly electric £100, gas 30. Still £30 bloody pound a month. Your direct debit is only 75, therefore you always blah blah blah. Well, my direct debit is early February, so they're getting £75, but you can't afford to bloody live, can you? What a bloody country. Power companies are just a set of greedy bastards, basically. And there's nothing do off Jameson but monetary The bloody prices, I don't think they do. You can please yourself, can't you? It's like pensioners, heat or eat. I'm well into the red, but it's payday this Friday, so I'm in a better situation than most people, I think. Only want it lukewarm. So another cold water. Yeah, that was embarrassing. I sent a message, well, whether he reads them or not, if it's actually him. Henry Cole on Twitter. Talked to a few people on Twitter. Carol Vorderman liked one of my pictures. Just did it again. Bleep and it shut down. Proceed with recovery. Alright, Bobby. Yeah, so I've been watching lots of old motorbike stuff. It's alright, don't panic. It's only a bucket. You're not going in it. Two sods. It must have been a stray cat. Bobby's just attacked it. Right. I just had it running for 5 minutes. So brakes. I haven't washed it because look, gunge. Always wash it this time of year because the salt will settle on the bloody brake pistons, not on a stick. I don't need that brush. I use a little normal brush. Could be worse, it could be snowing. Oh, what's that? Yeah, it's just nice. Alright, brakes. Oh, it's nice and soft, that. Better than that tough brush. That won't actually do much, will it really? You should get the caliper off, pop the pistons out and give it a good clean like I did last year. Was it last year when I was changing all the seals? Cloths everywhere. I just took the SD card out and blown into it, see if it's any dust that's on the contacts. Could be. Because on this setup with this cheap camera I had to leave the back open. So of course it gets all dusting. Dustingy. I'm steaming up. So brakes first and the rest of the bodywork after. This looks grimy. Still not binding. Not too bad, is it? Can't see a thing. Yeah, why didn't I use that brush before? It's marvellous. Cat paw prints. I don't know why they get so attracted to my bike seat. It smells of me. Ooh. I must show her more often. Yeah, I was just watching Hepcat Harley's last 3 videos. He's got a giant shed, hasn't he? Marvellous. Oh, being wet. Yeah, I bet it's 3 times the width of this. But if I got a big wooden shed, took that away, double doors, shed, loads of insulation. Because this leaks, I don't know how, and I've got bloody flashing on the edge. When I cut my tree down, like I said, I'm going to go up, I've got a bit of flashing left, and see if there's any gaps or holes. See what I mean about wheezing? What do you mean whining as well? What am I going to do? Oh, this chain guard, wasn't it? Ain't winter, nothing good to be said about crappy winters in this country. The last 7 bloody months. I mentioned that fire, didn't I? Austrian mountain top classic bike museum went up in bloody smoke. 230 classic bikes destroyed, and about a dozen classic cars, including the DB5. How much are they worth? 100 grand, $250,000. They're employed by divs, aren't they? Unless it was an insurance job. If they were going to go bust because of the lockdown, let's set fire to it. Yeah, claim on insurance, but would they be that mercenary just to get some money grabbing bastards? I mean, that one at the Birmingham Museum, that was some silly sod smoking, wasn't it? Having a fag at the back and a load of cardboard boxes from parts stacked up ready to be thrown in the recycling. And he finished his fag, chucked it down and wallop. It caught onto the roof space, overhung, and the flames got into the roof space, travelled along. And before they knew what was going on, can you smell burning? I can smell burning. Can you smell burning? Before they realised it was well ablaze, and about 100 bikes got destroyed, although they rescued quite a few and rebuilt some that weren't too badly damaged. But you're just employing knobs, don't they? Need some more water. I wanted to do a fairly thorough job and rinse it with the hose pipe after. I never did get round to getting one of those blower dryer things. Someone said you can get like a leaf blower that blows hot air, but not using any more bloody electric. The little wheel will be whizzing around like that in the electric meter. It should stop raining. I think I'll risk going out on my bike. Last year, on the last lockdown, I got a thing from work saying, stop bike police, show them that you're a key worker, but not got one this time. We're being properly furloughed. What would you say to coppers? I'm just taking my bike out to dry it off. Worried about the brakes sticking on. It's £100 fine, isn't it, for unnecessary journeys? Still, you can't blame them. It's getting worse and worse, isn't it? The death rate's awful. So much for the lockdown working. I mean, I've just been to Morrison's, and you're better off doing one big shop a week. Because I've not got a car, I'm struggling. I struggle to carry that bloody lot home. Big carton of milk, spuds, cat litter, and I forgot the cat food. Well, I'll continue with this. Harley, Cat Harley, I want your shed. I bet I could make one, a load of tongue and groove, mounted to a frame, but this is sufficient. A plastic roof, it'll do, won't it? Some people just put a cover on, plastic cover, and leave it in the backyard. Oh yeah, on Henry Cole's motorbike show, they finished that Phil Reed replica 750. Had a nice job, although they only use stickers. So they're not going to put some clear coating on, lacquer. Just put stickers on the tank. But yeah, they made a nice job. He has a mechanic chap, doesn't he, to help him. Actually, when you mentioned the work, he said, I've paid Ian £4 for doing it up. I thought, oh, has he done all the work? It initially cost £2. All the parts, all the new parts cost this, that. And he took it right down to the basic frame and powder coated that. Talking of which, yeah, if I clean the engine thoroughly, I'm going to give my black satin paint a try, even though it's not heat resistant. I'll see how it goes just on the water pump area. So I'll clean that thoroughly. And the first dry day we get, I'll give it a try. Why not? If it looks crap, I'm not bothered. It's nearly 20 years old, this bike. It says 2002 under the seat. So, I'm washing up liquid which should get the oil and grease off. I should have took the belly pan off, shouldn't I? But like I said, winter's not the time for doing proper thorough cleans unless you have a heated shed like Ian's new one. Yeah, very nice, Ian. How much was that? £5, including all the insulation panels and stuff. Expensive wood, isn't it? Timber costs a bloody fortune. Yeah, I've got some wire wool, so right, just give it a go. Just that bit, which doesn't get as hot as the top bit. Waffling on, and I'll call it a do. See if it's arsed up the recording. Bye for now. No biking, still winter, despite it being February in a week's time. Bye. Well, Ginger's settled and so's Blackie, but little Bobby's not come back in. Wonder which cat that was. A big tomcat comes in and pisses all over my bins and it stinks. Or maybe Bobby was chasing him away. You've been scratching your sore again, Ginger. I'll have to go to vets, I think. That's another £100 probably. Any cats? Yes, I've been shaking and vacuuming. I've done a bit of shaking, but I've not vacuumed yet. I do the shake and vac and put the freshness back. I do the shake and vac. I'll leave it down, I think, for a while. Well, I just rinsed my bike off. There's powder on my shoes now. I'll start it up just so you can have a listen. Looking alright, isn't it, for an old bike? No smoke. I think everyone was right about the smoke just being condensation initially, and it settles down to next to nothing. Not showing so much, is it, despite it being very cold weather? Well, like I said, the ice is melting. That's to stand my chimney on, my little incinerator. Stop it, because the legs get hot as well. Stop it burning into my fake grass. So when it finally stops raining, I'll be burning them old bills. Like I said before, it's just a question of trying to keep busy, otherwise you go mad, don't you? Sat at home, not working. I think I put something decent on the telly. Yesterday it was Night of the Demon. In the afternoon, when kids are watching, pretty spooky old film that. And today it was Peter Cushing, what's it called? Tales of Terror, when there's 5 different stories in one, like a Hammer horror thing. And what if kids are watching that? I suppose you have to keep an eye on what your kids watch, same as on the internet. It's a right old tripe on the bloody telly. Oh, it's smoking again now. Did I speak too soon? Yeah, I didn't bother buying any Red X. They had a special offer at Tesco, £2, which was cheaper than the double offer. They had 2 packs the same size for £5 at Aldi. But someone said, don't use it. I said, well, if it's manufactured, it must be some use. And he said, no, it cleans certain parts of the valves and then they don't seat properly. And so it's not necessary anyway, unless your engine is really full of crap. I don't know. Lots of people give different advice, don't they? Anyway, so there we are. Salt cleaned off, rinsed off. Run the engine for 5 minutes just to help it dry off. I don't know why I bother with that. Rarely carry anything. Should I put it in gear? It's likely that the clutch will be stiff. You need to push the brake. Should put something on the chain, shouldn't it? Although it had a nice greasing just before Christmas. Plus I have to put paper down because the drips get on the grass. I'm not doing it now. I'll save that for a non-rainy day as well. It. Oh well, that's all for now. So until we're all back to normal, it's goodbye for now.